Hello friends! Have you ever wondered how to make your very own Moana coconut pirate? Well, you can stop panicking, I am here now. Okay, let's start. The things you will need for this project are some super fluffy brown material. I got mine from a charity shop for next to nothing, so that was handy. You could use an old piece of clothing, a rug, or go ahead and get some brand new material for this. The important thing is that it is very fluffy. You will also need some pins. You will need a pencil or a pen. This one looks like a twig, that part is optional. You're going to need some fabric or pretty sharp scissors of some kind. You will need some dark thread and a needle. You're also going to need some buttons. You won't need this many, you'll only need like 2. I just haven't decided which 2 to use quite yet. Next you'll need some charms, some bits and bobs, and what you use for this project will completely depend on which pirate you're going to be making, whether you're copying one from the movie, whether you're inventing your own, it's completely up to you, but I'll be showing you what I'll be using this stuff for a little bit later on. Lastly, I'm going to need some paint. Again, this depends on the character you're making, whether you'll need paint at all and what kind of paint you choose. If your pirate might be sailing the seas a little, you might want some permanent fabric paint that will be durable enough for his adventures. Mine is simply going to be ornamental, so I'm using this washable face paint that I already had lying around. So now we've got the stuff together, we can start. I began by eating toast. Then I found a picture on the internet of the pirate I wanted to make, and I'm going to be making this little guy here. So that's what I'm aiming for. I'm not going to be trying to recreate him exactly, I'm just sort of making him in my own style, if that makes sense. So I'm laying out the material and I sketched the shape of the pirate onto the back of the fabric. I'm drawing the round coconut shape first, and then I added on the little arms and legs. Because it's pretty small, I'm making this all in one piece, and I'm not adding any real detail like fingers or toes or anything like that. Next, I'm cutting out the square of fabric with the drawing on it, and then another square of the same size and sandwiching them together with all the fluff on the inside. Now I'm pinning the 2 pieces of fabric together, and then I'm going to go away and backstitch around the line that I've drawn, leaving a gap of 2 or 3 centimeters along the top of the head. Because I'm adding something to the top of the head later, it won't matter if this part is a little rugged, you can leave the gap wherever you like. So once I've finished sewing around the piece, I cut around my stitches, leaving a few millimeters around them, and then I turn the piece back the right way around. I used the end of a pencil to push out all the little arms and the legs because they were a little bit fiddly. And here we have our warrior ready for dressing up. First of all, he needs a little haircut, so we get that shaved coconut effect for where his face is. And this part is quite tricky, and you'll need to be really careful that you're cutting the fluff of the fabric away without cutting through the fabric itself. My advice would be to take this part really slowly, just cut away tiny bits of fluff at a time and make sure that you're not going to snip away too much. I took my time over this to gradually create a bald patch right in the middle of the coconut. So I was finally left with a nice shaved patch where I could add the pirate's face. So now we need to stuff the pirate, and I completely forgot to add stuffing into the things you need part of this video. I knew I was going to forget something, and this time it was stuffing. If, like me, upon stuffing your pirate you find that you were a little too enthusiastic with the scissors earlier and there are any tears in your fabric, you might want to stitch those up with some dark thread now. I went ahead and put a few stitches there just to close this tear up. I then continued using my black thread to close up the top of the plush. For the eyes, I'm using 2 small black buttons, so I doubled up some black thread and I stitched them into place. Next, I'm taking this tooth-like charm to use as the horn that is on the pirate's head. Is it a horn? I don't even know what it is. Educate me. Anyway, this charm used to be on a bag that I had and I thought it looked pretty similar, so I'm going to use that. I am also using this old white necklace cord, and I'm going to colour it yellow with a marker because I didn't have anything suitable that was already yellow. I then positioned the cord around the charm, making sure it had that little cross shape at the front, and I tied it into place before sewing it onto the pirate's head. Just before I sewed it down, I took this necklace with these slightly spiky beads, and I'm going to make the spiked I want to say bracelet, but it's like a knuckle duster. Is that what they're called? I don't know these things. But anyway, I cut a length of the necklace and I sewed that around the arm. So here is what the pirate looks like so far. As you can see, I've tied on the cord and then I've put a few stitches under each side to attach it to the plush. Next, I'm going to make the pirate's sword. So first, I'm taking part of a bamboo skewer which I cut in half, and I'm going to attach this charm to it to create this sort of toothed edge. I know it doesn't look exactly like the picture, but I'm working with what I've got. When I finished the sword, this is what it looked like. So for this, I used those little loom bands. I put a yellow and orange one at one end, and I used another orange one to attach the charm at the other end. Lastly, I used a pencil to add a few markings to the stick, and overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. I actually sewed the sword on with some invisible thread which I had lying around, and to this arm I added some green embroidery thread to represent those sort of grass leafy bands around the pirate's limbs. If you want, you can add some to the feet too. I didn't bother as I thought it was already looking pretty busy. So my pirate is looking pretty close to completion now. All that's left is to finish off the face with his war paint. And again, I did this part really slowly and carefully, and I used the other half of the bamboo skewer that I had left over to apply the paint. And with that, the coconut pirate was finished. Let me know what you think of the pirate. Let me also know what you thought of the film Moana. Did you enjoy it? Was it the best thing you've ever seen in your life? Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you all next time. Bye!